My name is Liam Scholes, and this is my Comp 3008 final project video. My interface is the OANDA Hub. OANDA Hub is a trading broker used by many traders to execute trades quickly with relatively low fees. I chose this platform because I use this platform myself, and I really dislike the design choices that came into making the transaction history page, which is why the selected task to improve on for this Figma mockup is a task of viewing the transaction history, view one specific transaction in detail, and identify the most recent transactions starting from the OANDA Hub homepage. Now I'll show you the selected task. So the selected task, you start on the OANDA Hub dashboard, go to transaction history, select the correct time zone for the original design, show the transaction history, and correctly identify the most recent transaction, which is the last transaction on the last page for the OANDA Hub original design. Now, on the changes that I've made to improve this design when it comes to selected tasks was, for one, on the main page, a lot of white space has been replaced with other icons and buttons to reduce the eccentricity. When going to the transaction history page, the option to select a time zone has been removed, assuming that the time zone will now be automatically selected for the user. This change reduces the gulf of execution and reduces the chances a user makes a knowledge-based mistake due to an inaccurate mental model from the user, since the user could accidentally select the wrong time zone. When displaying the list of transactions, there are now fewer details displayed for each transaction, only displaying the most important details. By doing so, the set size has been effectively decreased, which improves visual search for a user trying to view one specific detail on a given transaction. As we can see, less transaction details. When displaying the list of transactions, there is now a detailed transaction button next to every transaction, so a user can view more details about a transaction if they would like to. This gives users more control and freedom over the amount of details they would like to view on a chosen transaction, which is consistent with Nielsen's design principles of user control and freedom, as we can see. When displaying the list of transactions, the transactions are now listed top to bottom from most recent to least recent rather than least recent to most recent. This change will effectively reduce the risk of rule-based mistakes where the user would typically assume the most recent transactions displayed at the top. It will also reduce the gulf evaluation since users will be able to identify the most recent transaction quicker. As we can see, the most recent transaction is displayed at the top of the list, and it goes top to bottom. The changes made on the mockup aim to improve efficiency and reduce human error. A usability study on these changes revealed that the Figma mockup is significantly better than the original design when it comes to completing the selected task. The average completion time for a user performing the task on the Figma mockup was 21.33 seconds, whereas the average completion time for a user performing the task on the original design was 51.67 seconds. Additionally, participants had made an average of 0 mistakes when performing the selected task on the Figma mockup, whereas the same participants made an average of 1.33 mistakes on the original OANDA Hub design. Throughout the experiment, most errors occurred when selecting the time zone and when identifying the most recent transaction. This concludes my presentation. Thanks for listening.